Well, it's a new year, and the president, well, he's wasted no time in writing new regulations. According to the Daily Caller, the website regulations.com gov lists 141 regulations that have been posted by federal agencies. But get this part. That was just in the first 3 days of the year. David Asman is here with us. And, David, that 141 number, it includes requests for some new regs.
That's right.
So
these are proposed rules. But, you know, well, let's just say what the president says. Here's what the president said about what he's doing to make a better business climate in America. Let's play the tape.
Here are the results of your efforts. The lowest unemployment rate in over 5 years, a rebounding housing market, a manufacturing sector that's adding jobs for the first time since the 1990s. For the first time in over a decade, business leaders around the world have declared that China is no longer the world's #1 place to invest. America is.
America is, but it's still, you look at what this president has done. Talk is very cheap, as you know, Charles, and regulations are very expensive. This president has come out with 15,114 new rules and regulations since he's been president. And again, for the first 3 days of the year, 114 new have been proposed. So while he's saying one thing rhetorically, he's doing something very different.
Couple that with all the tax increases, and you get what we've had. An anemic economy.
And this is a very anti-business economy. There's so many businesses that started up in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s who say they never would be able to start up in this regulatory environment. And it's so picayune. Sometimes also politics is used to attack enemies. There's one group, a group of music teachers. They're called the Music Teachers National Association. The FTC, these are basically grandmothers that go out and teach piano and violin lessons. The FTC is attacking them for their non-competitive behavior. They're not non-competitive behavior. They're just a bunch of music teachers. And the FTC comes out and they say, well, our proposed remedies are not going to interfere with the legitimate functions of the organization. But they always do, because they require reams of past documents to be submitted to all these regulatory organizations. That takes time, it takes money, and it distracts people from doing their business.
Now, is part of it, too, also because this is a great way to grab money? I mean, this is a great way to fund those coffers for a profligate government or administration that will spend every nickel it has and doesn't have?
Yes, but I think more than that, the president and all of his regulatory nudniks in the administration. Nudnik, I love that word. But that's what a lot of these bureaucrats are. They think that the new rules are going to make America a safer and better place.
Right.
And very often, all they do is make it more complex and more expensive.
Right, and then you could throw a bowling ball down a government hallway and not hit anybody because they think the rules are going to do it. I love it seems that politicians are in love with reform no matter what it looks like, right? And we know that D.C.'s per capita income is now higher than Silicon Valley. But what I love about this story, too, David, is who has to enforce it. Agencies like the IRS. 20 million phone calls went unanswered at the IRS, according to the Taxpayer Advocate. That's stunning.
And you look at some of the rules that we have to follow. The new test procedures for residential furnace fans. I mean, they go from the picayune to the general, and are they making our lives safer? Are they making our environment cleaner? Sometimes, but in the majority of cases, they're just bureaucrats wanting to interfere in business.
It's just a natural instinct then for bureaucrats. I mean, because this is not necessarily unique to the Obama administration. No. I mean, this is all about when you have big government, no matter who's in charge. This is what, absolute power corrupts absolutely kind of thing.
But you know the irony? I come from the same generation as Obama, and we were talking about freedom. Everybody wants to be free, want to live a free lifestyle, and yet they're the most control freak, the biggest control freaks in the planet. Yeah. I mean, these are people that claim that freedom and liberation is their call sign, when in fact what they want to do is control every little bit of our lives.
And we'll talk about how it's stifling business. I was just looking at the latest PricewaterhouseCoopers. They talked to all the CEOs survey, how they think of 2014 is going to go. All of them seeing the glass half full, pretty optimistic about growth. The level of uncertainty, however, was raised, and the reason why: regulation, over-regulation, fiscal domestic policy. That's the biggest uncertainty right now. So you talk about how it would even be affecting hiring in this new year, all this over-regulation.
If you want to put a price tag on it, by the way, Competitive Enterprise Institute, a free market think tank, says $1.8 trillion. That's how much businesses in America have to pay for this.
All these rules have thrown a banana peel under hiring?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Because a lot of the rules do involve employers. Of course, Obamacare is the biggest one.
You know, recently the report came out, and America dropped out of the top 10 in terms of economic freedom.
Right.
And the one thing that was worse, that I think we were like 139th, was regulations. I mean, it's just the stifling amount of control, their fingerprints on every single aspect of our lives. It's really hurting our freedom.
It's a tax. It is a tax, and it's one of the biggest taxes that we have. It's not. It's not said it's a tax. It's said it's where we put these in to make our lives safer. But it takes money out of the productive sector and puts it in the hands of government.
Obamacare wasn't sold as a tax either, but
right, exactly.
That's a prime example. Dave, we love when you bring us this stuff. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.